JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 2nd of September 2020. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're going to have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts. So the charts that we looked at this morning just to see how everything's getting along. But yeah, before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which we also update on a daily basis. So yep, feel free to visit us here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. Now let's jump into the charts. So quick update here on what's happening with the German DAX. The index is popping nicely to the upside. That's great news. This is what I was talking about this morning. However, what I was also mentioning this morning, that in a way, although that there is still potential for this one to move higher, still ideally we would prefer to wait for a push above the 13,314 barrier, and then we could consider some higher levels, because a nice good break above that area, a nice good daily close above that area, of course, would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yep, more buyers could be joining in. So that's why for now, guys, we are keeping an eye on this ascending triangle pattern, but like I said, we need that confirmation break, ideally a daily close above this 13,314 level, which is the highest point of July. And then yes, if we get that, then the next target for us is the 13,795 level, marked by the highest point of this year. Also, just a quick update here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, the index yesterday had a good run to the upside. However, it still remained below the this week's high, and also below last week's high as well. So, and last week's high was right here near this level, near the 28,733 zone. But what I'm keeping an eye on here is the 28,893 level, marked by the low of the 21st of February. So a nice good push above that may invite a bit more buyers here into the game. But also, like I said, we'll keep an eye on this 28,733 territory, which is the high of last week, and then yes, a nice good break above it could lead the index towards this 28,893 zone, which I've mentioned just right now. Of course, everything's still looking quite positive. If we look at the cash index, we can see that the price is balancing slightly above this 28,733 territory. So that's great news, but it remains below this 28,893 level. So basically, it's stuck in this little tight area right here. But of course, that's fine. We'll continue observing this, and in a way, as I said, if it pushes above the 28,893 territory, then yes, in a way, it could clear this break could clear the path towards the all-time high, which was reached in February, and that was near the 29,568 territory, roughly around there. Jumping into another index here, and that's the dollar index. I talked about this one this morning, and basically what I was saying, that in a way, keep your eyes on this 92.24 territory, and because if it continues to provide support, yep, we could see this one pushing higher. Now you can see that on the positive side as well, that the index is moving back above this 92.55 territory, so that's great news. However, as I mentioned to you before, ideally, or should I say preferably, we would like to see a push above the 21-day EMA here shown as the yellow line, and then we could consider a bit of a maybe a larger correction here to the upside. And the reason why I'm saying correction, because we're still trading below this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 23rd of March. Jumping into silver very quickly, so I talked about this one this week, and basically what I was saying, that in a way keep your eyes on this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 17th of July. You can see that the price is right now declining today, but it remains above this upside line. So in a way, as long as this upside line stays intact, there is still a chance for the bulls to step in and drive the commodity higher. However, if it starts breaking this upside line and then we see the price falling below the 26.06 territory, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for the sellers, and we could potentially see this one declining here towards the 24.40 zone, maybe even going towards the low of the 12th of August near the 23.40 area, or even going all the way towards this upside support line taken from the low of the 18th of March. So which means that if this upside line stays intact, then yep, in a way there is still a chance for the bulls to step in somewhere here and drive this one to the upside. But of course, all this is just in the scenario if we get a break of this upside line and then a drop below the 26.06 level. Now jumping into Bitcoin, and I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but as you can see today the crypto is declining and selling off sharply. However, on the positive side, we are still trading above this upside support line taken from the low of the 13th of March. So in a way, what we can say here is that as long as this upside line remains intact, although we can see a bit of a decline here, but although it remains intact, there is still a chance for the bulls to step in and drive this one higher. So that's why for now we will class this as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. But like I said, from the short-term perspective, you could keep an eye on this upside line. However, if in case this crypto decides not to travel a little bit further down here and starts reversing earlier, now keep your eyes on this barrier, this 12,100 zone. We'll round it up a little bit here. A nice good push above this 12,100 zone could, yep, open the door towards higher levels. We could then start aiming for the highest point of August of last year near the 12,325 zone, or it could continue pushing further north. Of course, if these two levels are not enough for the bulls, then yes, it could continue pushing further north towards the highest point of July of 2019, and that's roughly around the 13,174 level. But again, like I said, to consider such a move, we would need to see at least a push back above the 12,100 territory. So for now, we can see that the crypto is declining. So let's see if this upside support line will actually provide any support. AUDUSD. So here the pair, as you can see, had a in a way it's still having a fantastic rally to the upside, although we're seeing a bit of a decline today. However, for now at this point, this little decline could still be considered as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So in a way, what you could do here is you could keep an eye on this little short-term tentative upside support line taken from the low of the 30th of June. But if this upside line gets broken, then yes, keep your eyes on the 0.7136 territory right here. But if that fails to provide support, now this is where it could turn out to be a little bit more ugly for the buyers, as more sellers could be joining in here. So that's why, guys, for now at this point in time, yes, the pair is drifting lower. However, we could class that as a temporary correction as long as it continues to trade above this upside support line taken from the low of the 30th of June. For those who are more on the cautious side, what you could do here is, and let me just grab one of these lines here very quickly, you could keep an eye on the high of this week, the current high of this week near the 0.7413 zone, and if we get a nice pop above it and we see the daily candle remaining above it without any false breakouts here, then yes, like I said, it could continue its journey north. However, as you can see, from around mid-March, I would say, the pair has been rallying nicely here to the upside, together with the stock market. But if the stock market starts shifting a little bit more to the downside, then yes, it could pull after itself the Australian dollar. So again, let's see how all this is going to play out, but for now we're just considering this move as a temporary correction, as long as, like I said, as long as it remains above this upside support line. Jumping into USDCAD now, here I've talked a lot about this one previously. The pair continues to trade below this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 19th of March, and the most important here is that in the past couple of days here, you can see that this 1.3032 territory kind of provided decent support, and that is the low. And let me just quickly mark this. So that's the low, the 16th of January of this year, guys. So the pair in a way kind of found support here, although we did get a few overshoots. We didn't really get the daily candle remaining below this area, and now we can see that there is some positivity here. The pair is trying to get back on track here and trying to climb higher. However, of course, we'll be very careful here, because if it struggles to overcome this this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 19th of March, then, well, we could see another round of selling here. So that's why I'd be very careful. But if it suddenly drops below the 1.3032 level again, then yes, our next target is the lowest point of this year, if I'm not mistaken, or actually this year, yes, and the lowest point of December of 2019, and that's roughly around the 1.2952 mark. So let's keep an eye on that one. GBP Aussie, I have this pair I haven't looked at for quite a while, but it's quite interesting. It sometimes presents itself with nice opportunities, but as you can see, overall the pair is kind of struggling to get back to the upside here, and it's currently trading just near this 21-day EMA after kind of dropping back below it in the past couple of days. And in a way, I mean, you can see that the bulls are really trying hard right now to lift this one. However, I think they're struggling with that, and in a way, given the circumstances here, given the technical picture, we'd actually prefer to see a push above the 1.8412 territory right here, marked by the highest point of August. Let me just double check this very quickly. Is this correct? So yeah, that's the highest point of August near the 1.8412 zone. So a nice good push above it, yep, could open the door towards higher areas, at the same time placing the rate above the 100-day EMA, shown here as the green line. In terms of the downside, what you could do is keep your eyes on the current lowest point of this week near the 1.8070 mark. So a nice good drop below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low and potentially open the door towards a possible move towards the lowest point of July here near the 1.7695 zone. So this is how we could play out this pair, but again, like I said, at the moment it's at a very tricky spot. So let's see if who's going to be the one who's going to outpull the rope. Will it be the bulls or will it be the bears? But in any case, still we need a nice good clear break above the 1.8412 zone here in order to aim for some slightly higher levels. or we need to see a drop below the 1.8070 zone here in order to consider slightly lower areas. And finally, Euro USD. So quick update here. So the pair is declining. So you can see that this is what I was talking about, by the way, this morning. I was saying that in a way there is a possibility for this one to move lower because we had a nice new high for this year tested yesterday, but it was quickly kind of taken over by the bears. The pair was quickly taken over by the bears, and we saw a heavy decline here. Well, we're seeing today a continuation move lower. Although, yes, it is declining right now, still, first of all, as I mentioned this morning, we'll keep an eye on the 21-day EMA because we want to see if it's going to do the same trick as it did recently here, acting as a fantastic area of support. If it doesn't, if it continues to slide below the 1.1815 level as well, then all eyes are on the upside support line taken from the low the 14th of May, because this is where the kind of the bulls could step in and potentially kind of take this one back to the upside, take this pair back to the upside. However, if this upside line breaks and we see a slide below the 1.1725 territory, somewhere around here, now this is where in a way it could open the door towards much lower areas here. So for now, guys, yes, it is drifting lower. It's already very close to the 21-day EMA. Eventually probably that's gonna get tested, but yeah, let's see if it can continue sliding further south, and let's see if this pair can get hold up near this upside support line. That is, of course, if the rate falls below the 21-day EMA. So guys, I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. If you want to catch my video tomorrow morning, as always, my Traders Espresso at 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, I hope you have a wonderful trading evening, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.